Good morning. It is 11 o'clock, and I would like to call to order the March 13th meeting of the McGee Creek Authority. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the September 12th meeting. They're in your packet. Trustees have any questions or comments regarding the minutes? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Next up is the consent docket. There are 4 items on the consent docket. There's a amendment with our auditor. There is a actions approving addendum 1 change order on the McGee Creek headquarters building and selection of the bank for fiscal year 26 and ratification of payments. So with those 4 items, are there questions or comments from the trustees? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second? Motion second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Same sign. The motion carries. Next up, under items for individual consideration, is a presentation on the McGee Creek Authority fiscal year 2026 budget. Vanessa.
Good morning, Chairman and Trustees. Vanessa Aguilar with the Oklahoma City Utilities Department. The presentation that we have for you today is the fiscal year 2026 McGee Creek Authority budget. We'll start with the first slide, which gives you an overview of the sources for McGee Creek Authority. This includes primarily raw water sales from the Rural Water District Number 4, approximately $641,000 projected for the coming year. This does include an increased usage from this customer, as well as a pre-approved rate increase for the water charges. We have projections of interest earnings, roughly $2,000. This is interest earnings for our operating bank accounts. We also receive reimbursements from the federal agency Bureau of Reclamation for certain activities that we do at the dam and reservoir. That's expected to be $181,000 for the coming fiscal year. And then the last 2 items, we have the Aqua Aliquot share payments projected to be $5.6 million and the Aqua loan proceeds of just under $2.8 million. Those 2 items are subject to vary depending on actual expenditures and actual revenues in the fiscal year. Similarly, the projected uses, the budget overall for McGee Creek Authority is $9,223,000. The uses are primarily organized in different categories, including personnel services, primarily the payroll, salaries, and benefits for McGee Creek employees, $455,000 projected for this coming fiscal year. This does include a pay plan adjustment for our McGee Creek employees, which we correspond and use the similar adjustments as the City of Oklahoma City for our employees. Contracts and services are projected to be $852,000. This does include an increase of roughly, and that's actually projected to be flat for this coming year. So the services and also the supplies are flat for this coming year, expecting to meet the needs of the McGee Creek Authority. Equipment and supplies, $137,000. Now, as we've established in several fiscal years, we do have a reserve that's both for operating needs as well as capital needs that may come up. That reserve is established at $300,000. For the upcoming fiscal year, the capital program for the McGee Creek Authority is projected to be $7,479,000. On the next slide here, we'll have additional details on the capital program, and I have with me SRB Ryan Smith, who will go into more details on the capital elements.
Thanks, Vanessa. Good morning, Chairman, trustees. Like Vanessa said, my name is Ryan Smith. I'm with SRB, serve as the trust engineer for the authority. Oh, excuse me.
That was quick.
Well, I'm sorry. Can we go back? Okay, well, I apologize for that. Thank you. The bulk of the $7.5 million is primarily for pump station improvements that will be done or started this next year. After that, we'll do some facility road improvements as well as some BOR improvement projects. In addition, we will also be bidding the McGee Creek residence replacement project. That'll be kicking off hopefully very soon. And we also have some line items in here for some equipment replacements and technology improvements as well. All right, now we can move to questions.
Well, I think this is probably more for Vanessa than for you, but is this the largest McGee Creek Authority budget ever? Because even when we had the debt service in for all those years, I think the debt service was around $6 million, and I don't remember one being this large.
And so the McGee Creek budget, as you mentioned, Chairman, it has actually decreased slightly. The debt service previously was over $6.5 million alone, and it does fluctuate year to year based on the capital program. Last year, our capital program was, or this current fiscal year, our capital program alone was projected to be at 8.7.
Oh, it was, okay.
Initially, and so that's going to fluctuate based on updated cost estimates, phasing, and or just timing of awards. So we've actually had other capital budgets or McGee Creek budgets slightly
Well,
higher.
right, obviously the capital drives it, but so was last year the largest ever?
Excuse me?
Was last year the largest ever?
I'll get that information for you. McGee Creek's
I'm just
budget
kinda
historically has been around $10 million,
Okay.
including the debt service in previous years prior to 2023.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right. Questions regarding the budget? Is there a motion to approve that budget?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. So to accomplish item A, we need to do item B. And item B is a loan agreement with the City of Oklahoma City for $2.8 million. Any questions regarding the loan agreement, as we've done in the past? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. And then we need to do the resolution directing the general manager to request participants making an election regarding annual allocate cost for fiscal year 2026 in accordance with the McGee Creek amended trust indenture. Craig, you want to give us a quick update on what that is?
So the original indenture and continued on into the amended indenture provided for the participants in the McGee Creek Authority to contribute to the ongoing budget and costs. The costs are split up, they're called aliquot shares because they're split up proportionally among the entities based upon the interest they have in the water rights in the lake. The process is very confusing. It's kind of like millage, if anybody's familiar with millage and how they calculate that. So I'm trying to, I didn't prepare for this one, so I'm going to
That's okay, but the bottom line is, it's a split of the cost based upon your percentage of the McGee Creek, and we've been doing this practice since inception back in the 80s.
Correct, and one of the ways in which the participants also participate is when they have, when they assign use of their water rights within McGee Creek, the revenue from that goes to McGee Creek to pay off their aliquot shares.
All right. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Item D is a resolution appropriating McGee Creek Authority funds as designated to make such equipment items from state and other intergovernmental cooperative purchasing contracts, bid and award in a manner consistent with the practices of the McGee Creek Authority. And this authorized general manager to declare 2026 surplus items to be sold for more than $50,000 and to surplus the needs of the McGee Creek Authority estimated cost is $97,000. Any questions regarding to the purchase of such equipment? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Item E is a resolution authorizing the general manager or designee to submit an application to provide such other information documentation as may be required to establish a separate new account in the name of the McGee Creek Authority on Ameris Bank as an escrow account for the MCA Residential Replacement Project WMC-037-1 and transfer the not more than $400,000 to that new account. So it's to facilitate one of our construction projects, or capital projects.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, we have made a couple of attempts to bid under our traditional business model, the construction of the residence down at McGee Creek. The business model that is set up that we have for our normal construction does not really match the residential construction industry. With the help of Ameris Bank and some other help from southeast Oklahoma, we've found a path forward which complies with the requirements of the Competitive Bidding Act, but brings the process into something that's within the business model of the parties that we are interested in having bid on our project. And so we have worked with the bonding company to make sure that there are bonds available to people who don't typically get our type of bonds. The bank is helping us with our performance issues and be able to pay timely and to properly reimburse the contractor in accordance with their business model. And so there's been a lot of effort to make a business model that both complies and meets the needs of the bidding process and protects the taxpayers.
Very good.
Very good.
All right. So is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries. Any items from trustees this morning?
Not today.
General manager reports.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we've got Ron Butler here this morning to give us an update on the water use report as well as the lake levels and pumpage report.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, trustees. Good to see everyone today. Water use report for the calendar year 2024. Total usage was 8.1 billion gallons from McGee Creek, with 7.6 billion gallons of that pumped straight to the Atoka Reservoir, and 500 million gallons were sold locally to City of Atoka and Rural Water District 4. Now we'll move to operations. I have nothing to add to that report. Not in that report is our annual site inspection. That hasn't occurred yet, but the Bureau will be here at the end of the month to take care of that. And currently we have one pump motor being overhauled, and that should be done in April, and our system will be back at 100% and ready to pump water to Lake Atoka. Excuse me. Lake levels and pumpage. 5 months out of the year last year, if you remember, was pretty dry. We had some drought situations. In 5 months, we were short on rainfall. We did recover, but we ended the year with almost 1.5 inches rain short of our average. 5 months, reservoir was below normal. The lowest was in the end of October. We were 5.9 feet low. We finally did overcome that, and currently today, we are over a foot full and making a flood release. First flood release since June of last year. With that being said, this period from February to now, total acre feet moved from the Atoka Reservoir was 20,050, with the City of Atoka using 541 acre feet of that. And not in this report, but the Rural Water District used about 900 acre feet. I think that's all. Questions, anyone?
Do we have any questions for Mr. Butler? It's good to see the lake back up and actually having a release, and it's not
Yes,
even,
sir.
we haven't even hit our heavy rain period yet, so
Yes.
that's good. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ron. Mr. Chairman, now we have Ryan Smith to give us an update on the capital improvement projects.
Very good.
All right, thank you again. Give some project status updates on things that have been going on down at McGee Creek. We'll start with the headquarter building that's being constructed and will be finished in May this year. It's been constructed by Mack Hill Construction, just under $3 million. And project's on schedule and on budget, going very well. Following the completion of this project, we'll do the demolition of the existing headquarter building. Here are a few pictures of it during construction, pre-engineered metal building. And as you can see, it's coming along quite nicely. As mentioned, we will be building the residence this year. This project will advertise next Friday and bid in April. The budget is anticipated at $300,000. All right. In November of last year, we completed a comprehensive facility assessment that identified work that needs to be done over the next 30 years at McGee Creek. As you can see, $6 million worth of items were identified as pretty high priority items. That will include the pump station replacement work that I mentioned before, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. In the medium category, we've got about $32 million worth of work, and we have scheduled that out over the next 30 years. Okay. The pump station improvements will be done in phases, and this is to stay within kind of a reasonable budget for us. And as you may know, this pump station was constructed in the mid-'80s. So this equipment is fairly old at this point, and replacement parts are getting harder to come by. So this is a project that's needed. And so we will do this in phases, like I said, with trying to replace one pump at a time. And we'll also be, the first phase will be the heaviest phase, where we also replace a lot of the electrical equipment and the MCCs. We'll also, with the pumps, we'll have to replace control and isolation valves as well. We'll also be conducting some work based on the BOR's inspection in this coming year. We are going to get a project underway for the design that will address some of the outfall tow drains that you can see are corroded and in need of replacement. We'll be doing some concrete repairs along the chute wall, and then also some general erosion and regrading things that we'll address. This project will also include addressing some mold and water damage in the M&I intake control house and the right-of-way, or sorry, the river outlet works control house. We'll address some corroded conduit and some conduit that is collecting water, and then also replacing some other conduit with this project. There's one other BOR project that will be done as a separate project. This will address some coating repairs that are needed at some of the facilities. We'll start by addressing the M&I footbridge. More than likely, this is lead-based paint, so we'll be investigating that and addressing that. At the River Outlet Works gate chamber, there's some repainting that's needed on the elevator and ladder support structure. And we'll also be doing some work on repainting a bypass pipe and some pipe supports. All right. That's the end of my presentation. I can address any questions that you may have.
All right, any questions, Ryan? Thank you, that's a lot. You made me feel real old because I remember when we first started the antiquated. What was it? Your description on the pumps, the original pumps?
Mid-'80s.
Yeah, no. You had a term. Old, antiquated. Was that what it was? Antiquated?
In terms of pumps, I mean, you look great.
Nice save.
All right, I think we should stop right there. Are there any citizens to be heard? Seeing none, there's no additional business before the McGee Creek Authority. Therefore, we are adjourned.